A thread by Thomas Wichter at social.quodverum.com. Some people got angry at me for saying that most Trump supporters lack the ability to engage in critical thinking. These fat dummies prove my point. Link in the thread. Armed militiamen protest in front of Texas Capitol in Austin following U.S. Capitol insurgency. Link from YouTube. Doing exactly what the Democrats and never Trumpers want. They may as well be agents of the communist Chinese. The reason they're continuing the madness is that they don't trust Trump. And they don't trust Trump because they never researched him or looked into what Trump might be doing. I just saw someone ask if Trump has been placed under arrest. This person was listening to Alex Jones. So I stand by my statement. A fat militia would last about 3 minutes against any government tactical team. Of course, there were agent provocateurs at the rally, but they were needed only to get the ball rolling. Trump supporters did the rest. Ardent believers in Q. Let's think about something. 1, Q told everyone to trust the plan because Trump was in total control. 2, people who believe in Q acted as though Trump isn't in total control. See what I mean? How do 1 and 2 exist in the same person? Did Q ever tell people to start a revolution? Or did Q tell people that Trump is in total control? You can't diagram it. That's because none of it makes sense. It's not rational. Here's what's rational. Trump knew the election would be stolen, and he has all the tools necessary to document precisely who was involved. So, what do we conclude? Is Trump going to walk away? Is he totally resigned to a life of being persecuted to the grave? Or is Trump giving his enemies enough rope with which to hang themselves? Is Trump showing Americans how easy it is for them to lose their freedom despite all their guns? Will we ever be the same after what's happened? People who can engage in critical thinking understand that militias don't matter. All the elite need to do is build impregnable communities and leave the rest of us to rot. It becomes a nightmare of lawlessness out here. We have to kill each other for food and shelter. Cuomo is throwing away vaccines. Some Democrats and Republicans hate the masses so much that they'll do anything to us. History is full of such ruling elites. A dozen militiamen making threats are laughed at, as you saw in the video. Truthfully, they are laughable. 2 cops were killed, not died, killed. Those were not patriotic Americans who stormed the Capitol building. They were insane extremists. Remember, 1, Q told them that Trump was in total control. 2, they stormed the Capitol despite their God Q telling them that Trump is in total control. You can't reconcile the 2 facts. What they did was pure irrationality. I spent 5 years telling people to cool their jets, but the vast majority never learned to think for themselves. I had an aggregate of close to 250,000 people reading my stuff, but maybe 1,000 actually listened. A lot of high-profile folks who supported me for years turned against me because they found me too optimistic. I never went public with it, but I've blocked all of them. Some of them are here on this platform. The reason I blocked them is that they started attacking me. Of course. Saul Montez Bradley and I have had very heated personal exchanges, but they never got out of control. I'm helping him with this platform because he never crossed a line. He never attacked me personally. As of this second, I'm under massive attack by the federal government. They don't know that I'm my father's son. My father and I weren't close, but I learned from him how to defeat people who are determined to destroy you. Even if the door were to be smashed down and government goons filled me full of lead, they'd be starting something. After Trump is sworn in, I won't demand personal revenge, although believe me, I could get it. Terrible revenge, the worst you could imagine. My entire life has been filled with violence, crime, and sin. What I want is to be left alone, to enjoy the sight of a single pale yellow butterfly fluttering past my face as I sit in the quiet. The world will go on a toboggan ride of change in Trump's second term. He's currently taking out the Chinese communists. I see the aircraft leave Vandenberg and head out over the Pacific. Someone asked if we really need more distractions like the CIA documents on UFOs. Yes, we do. As long as Americans are entranced by pretty, shiny things, Trump can work unmolested. My entire career on social media was plagued by idiots accusing me of having blind faith in Trump. They themselves had zero factual knowledge about Trump. They'd never researched him, but they claimed that he couldn't be as smart as I claimed. They never saw the disconnect. I knew Trump is as smart as I claim because I exhaustively researched him. But it's the same everywhere. I now know more than anyone on the planet about World War I troops and weaponry. Japanese model 1918 flamethrower. That's the only known photo. It's a mechanical nightmare. The Japanese took until 1933 to adopt a successful flamethrower. We copied their ignition system, which the Japanese cribbed from the Austrians. So I'm the only person on earth who knows that the American flamethrower ignition system was invented by Austria-Hungary. The Sapper Instructional and Replacement Battalion for Special Weapons designed our flamethrower ignition system a century ago. And now only you and I know that.
I will be the greatest president that God ever created.